Hey guys, this is Callum from EnglishShooting and welcome back to the channel and the Bluefield Sports range. Today I'm going to be going over two very different Benelli M2s. Now if you're looking at getting into IPSC practical shotgun, you're going to learn soon of all the different divisions that are available. You've got standard, standard manual, modified and open. Now today I'm going to be talking about modified versus standard. I've got a standard gun and a modified. I'm going to go over all of the differences that the guns can have in terms of the upgrades, the modifications that you can make to it. So let's start with the standard gun. To caveat, this hasn't had all of the potential modifications that you could put onto it. But first of all, it does have an extended tube. Now you're not restricted in the capacity of the tube that you can put on here, and you're also not restricted on the overall length of the gun. So you're allowed to put on enlarged bolt releases, enlarged bolt handles, although this one doesn't have them currently. You can put enlarged safeties. You can do pretty much any modifications to the trigger to get it slicker, and you're also allowed to do as much opening up as you want around the port, putting an uprated follower, welding up the lifter, but you are limited on what you can do in terms of putting anything protruding the bottom of the gun. You can change out your stock if you wanted to go for something different. This is obviously the Benelli Comfortex stock, which most people are perfectly happy with, but you can put different butt pads on there if you so choose. Being standard though, you are limited in the modifications that you can do. So as it stands currently, you still can use the auto loading lifters, and that's when you put one in the tube and it will automatically cycle the gun and put one into the chamber. However, that is most likely going to end up in modified. Also, something else that gets done a lot to guns now is putting a side charging handle on the other side. That would not be allowed in standard. Again, that goes over to modified. In terms of the sights, obviously, usually with a shotgun, you're going to just use the bead or the rib and the beads, and most come with a fiber optic sight. You're allowed to use any iron sights with a standard gun. If you use any sort of optical sight or electronic sight, that is going to make you into modified. So another thing as well that is popular are chokes. You're allowed to use extended chokes within the standard division. So you can hone in a standard gun and make various modifications as I've gone through to make it easier to manipulate and faster to run. But you're not allowed obviously to do significant modifications, and that's where the modified division comes in. So let's put the standard one down and grab the other M2, which is used in the modified division. Now, I did talk about optical and electronic sights. Obviously, the person that uses this, Alec Florence, has elected not to use the red dot, and in talking to him about that, he said that he actually finds it faster to use the fiber optic sight as you would do in standard, but if you wanted to, you could put an optical or an electronic sight on there. You can also see a big difference at the front is a muzzle brake. You're allowed to run muzzle brakes within modified division, and you can see that he does have an extended tube as well. But this is where you're actually limited over a standard gun. So the total length of a modified gun can be no more than 1,320 millimeters. But as long as your gun is within that, you can extend the tube. You can only start with a maximum of 14 rounds in the gun. So you do start with a lot more, a significant amount of more over the 9 from the standard. And as I was saying before, things like side charging handles are completely legal within modified, and of course the auto loading lifters would be legal in modified as they are currently within standard, but if things change then it will most likely be modified only. Again, all of the other changes that I talked about with a standard gun in terms of enlarged bolt handles, enlarged bolt releases and safeties, trigger modifications and stuff like that, again, completely legal within modified. And also the port, you can do all the same modifications to the port that you like. So modified is for, I would say, standard shooters that really want to go as fast as possible with their gun. Of course, open is usually the fastest, but modified does offer a little bit of a go-between. Things like muzzle brakes are going to get you shooting faster. It's going to keep the muzzle flatter, meaning your shot-to-shot time should increase. And obviously, starting with 14 in the gun, you're going to be competing against the open shooters quite well in terms of capacity. If you're just starting out in IPSC practical shotgun, there's no reason that you should default to just standard. It tends to be the usual habit that everyone starts in standard and then will move on to other divisions as they learn more about the sport. But you could start in modified, you can start in open, you can start in standard manual, or even standard. But again, if you want to get a little bit more speed out of your standard gun, you can move it into modified, and there are a number of people that will flip-flop between the two. At the end of the day, the base gun is a Benelli M2. You start taking off the muzzle brake, maybe the side charging handle if you have one, and then it's going to, or optic if you've got one on top of it as well, then you're good to go in standard. But there we go, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this has given some clue to the differences between modified and standard division. If you do have any more questions about it, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed for future videos. And as always, guys, I hope to see you soon.